All right, let's get into that game in Como and get into our preview and prediction for this LSU Missouri game. So, should be a really good one. Back-to-back top 25 battles for the Tigers, and Missouri's off to a 5-0 start. Not many people had that coming into the season. I did. You see all the check marks there? Bang, 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 bang. They're off to a really hot start. They've played some great football, and they beat three good teams. Well, they beat two good teams out of the last three games, Kansas State and Memphis, and they recently beat Vanderbilt. So, look, they're really solid. I really went back and forth on who to pick for this game, and here's why. They got a really, really efficient and fundamental offense. They score over 30 points per game, and their last three games against the teams I just mentioned, 34 points per game. So they're producing, and it's not like they ate up on cupcake teams like they played South Dakota State and Middle Tennessee State. No, I mean, they've played well against the good teams, against the better defenses there. And they love to pass the ball. Top 10 in the country in passing offense, averaging 324 passing yards per game. And Brady Cook, the quarterback, completes at about a 75% rate. So it's not like they go air raid and throw it 60 times and maybe complete 30. No, it's not like that at all. When they pass, they do so well. They also have a solid run game. They don't use it much, but they use it effectively. So they run the ball for about 130 yards per game just to get those short yardage situations and set up more favorable second and third downs. What's interesting, though, is that they run the ball 53% of the time and pass it 47% of the time. Yet they average over 300 passing yards per game, which is interesting. So they're very balanced. That's the point there. So they don't necessarily rely on one way or the other to produce. Again, they got a great quarterback there, Brady Cook. He can sling it. He hasn't thrown an interception all season, so he's not a guy that'll make mistakes. The offensive line in front of him, we talk about mistakes, doesn't really give him the opportunity to make mistakes. They've only allowed 9 sacks all year, and I've said it before, when LSU loses, usually it's because they can't get pressure, and they had 0 sacks. So we'll see if they can, turn up that pressure, make Brady Cook uncomfortable a little bit. As for that running game, they got a 1-2 punch. Guy named Schrader, who is really solid. He'll give you 5 or 6 yards per carry. You can also bust out a long one as well if you allow him to, and LSU has with that missed tackle problems. And then Nathaniel Pete, a Stanford transfer, he's a physical runner as well. And then at wide receiver, 3 really good options. They got Luther Burden, a former 5-star that they got at Missouri, an in-state guy, Theo Weiss, and Mookie Cooper. Burden's really the guy to know. He'll catch a pass anywhere on the field. He's got an insane ability to change his speeds. Like, he'll go from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. This guy is quick. You leave him open in open space, he will delete that space and get to the end zone. So what I think this game hinges on is a dual-threat quarterback. Cook is not a dual threat. He ran for like 400 yards last year, but he hasn't run it much this year. If he has, he hasn't done it successfully. He's got 37 rush yards. Probably factors in sacks, but I watched 2 of his games, and he didn't run much at all. And we know LSU's defense struggles against dual-threat quarterbacks. So now you've got more of an opportunity to get pressure and make him uncomfortable. And so far this season, when they've played pocket passers, things have been better. So we'll see if that makes a bit of a difference. Here's the key for LSU's defense. Get Missouri to third down, and then get off the field when that happens, because they're converting on just 35% of their third downs. That's not good. I think that ranked amongst like the 70s and 80s amongst college football teams, so that's down there. And in their last 3 games, again, against Kansas State, Memphis, Vanderbilt, all solid teams, just 27%. But with that said, they don't go to third down very much. They are top 10 in the country for the least amount of third down situations at just 11.5. So when you do get them to third down, got to get off the field. As for the offense, Missouri's got a solid defense, number 36 in the country in total defense. And what's interesting is that their passing defense is what people look to as being something that's not very good. LSU is in the hundreds for passing defense, as is Missouri. Here's the difference, though. Missouri allows just about 11 yards per pass, so not many big plays. LSU has allowed about 14 yards per passing play. So, yes, they're 2 bad passing defenses, but they're not the same. LSU gives up the big plays, Missouri not so much, and that's how LSU likes to move the football as well. And then lastly, Missouri's run defense has been really good this year. They've held opponents under 3 yards per carry, so the Tigers like to use Logan Diggs and Jaden Daniels to move the football. I'll say this, they haven't seen a dual-threat quarterback yet like Jaden Daniels, so, we could have some plates colliding here, tectonic plates, and one of them's got to cave, the other one's got to rise, right? So I think that Jaden Daniels will present a different element that this Missouri defense hasn't seen yet before this season. So look, 11 a.m. kick on ESPN. Super tough game to pick. LSU's favored by 4.5 on the road. I think I got to go with Missouri, though, because this offense is dialed in. Brady Cook is on the same page with his receivers, and watching the film, I saw Memphis, I saw Kansas State have coverage busts, and Missouri took full advantage. So I've got more faith in Missouri to produce than in LSU's defense to clean up the problems we saw last week. Plus, they're at home. They've already upset a number 15 team at home this season in Kansas State. So I'm rolling with Missouri here. LSU lost the last time they played out in Como. And I just think there's too many question marks with this team right now. Yes, the offense is great. They haven't seen the defense like this since Florida State. And Florida State contained this LSU offense enough to win the game. And, of course, the defense didn't pick up the slack. So give me Missouri to win this game as the underdog. Don't even need the points. And it's a darn shame because this was a game I had LSU winning coming into the season. But after seeing them play for a couple of weeks, there's just too many unknowns for me. And that's where we're at.